Hi, everybody. I'm Cullen,
And I'm Sarah.
and we're recapping round one of our Book Madness tournament. So we started in Ye Old Classics, our classics bracket, where we took some of the most highly regarded and popular and beloved, cherished books of all time and made them fight. And so here's what happened in that bracket. We had To Kill a Mockingbird, taking it down over 100 Years of Solitude, and then Fahrenheit 451 over My Precious, My Beloved, Catcher in the Rye. Little Women and Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind, upsetting The Great Gatsby. And then I think this might have been the one that had like the most people voting ever. We had The Hobbit, beating Anne of Green Gables, and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, a 14 seed. Just really kind of thumping 1984. And then our final set of matchups, the nameless book there that you can tell, Jane Eyre, and Pride and Prejudice, beating Uncle Tom's Cabin. So 2 and 7, not a whole lot of upsets in this bracket, but here's how it looks now heading into round 2.
Were there any close pairs that were just fighting to the end?
Yeah, fighting to the
Fight
end,
up?
to the death. Yeah,
Yes, to the death.
Fahrenheit 451 and Catcher in the Rye, I think we're pretty close. And then Gone with the Wind and Gatsby were also, that was another fairly close one.
I was surprised about the Gatsby being taken over by Gone with the Wind, just because, when the movie came out in like 2012, 13.
Oh, the
Whenever
new
that
Gatsby movie, like the Leo
Yeah,
movie?
the new Gatsby movie came
Yeah.
out. It seemed like the whole world went crazy for that 20s look and vibe. You saw it everywhere, and
Yeah, I know. I
weddings
certainly
and
changed the way I dress when that happened.
yeah, brought out all like the flappers out of nowhere.
Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, it kind of stomped 1984, and we had 1984 as a 3 seed, which, maybe that's the fault of the seeding and the selection committee.
Yeah, that committee, man.
Yeah, well, that stupid committee. What were they thinking? It's hard to gauge stuff like that, especially in the classics region where like all the books are. It's all like titans of literature. It's like
Right,
one over another necessarily.
right.
Uh,
Well, and the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I mean, it has a nostalgic pull for people too, because
for sure. So these are our matchups for round 2. To Kill a Mockingbird versus Fahrenheit 451, Little Women versus Gone with the Wind, Pride and Prejudice versus Jane Eyre, and The Hobbit versus The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
yeah, any predictions on those?
You don't want to like sway anybody, and that just makes the huge assumption and leap that anybody's actually watching us talk about this and would impact their voting in any way. I'll say To Kill a Mockingbird, Little Women. I'm going to say The Hobbit's going to pull it out, and then Pride and Prejudice. So I just went straight,
Yeah,
higher seeded chalk. What do you think?
yeah, I think To Kill a Mockingbird for sure. I would be surprised if Little Women didn't take over. And then The Hobbit, sorry, C.S. Lewis. I see The Hobbit taking that one.
How
And
dare
then
you?
Pride and Prejudice also.
In the Phenoms bracket, so we had Harry Potter, the 1 seed, the Juggernaut, taking down Lovely Bones. And then a very close matchup, Book Thief beat The Help. We had an upset here with the Da Vinci Code taking down Fault in Our Stars, Handmaid's Tale. Then another sad one for me, Ender's Game.
Yeah, because you really like Gone Girl, don't you?
I do, and I love Ender's Game too. Game of Thrones, the Twilight voters not showing up. Yeah, Game of Thrones beat Twilight by quite a lot, if I remember. Time Traveler's Wife, beating another hot title, Take That However You Want, in 50 Shades of Grey. And then Hunger Games,
What did you say was really close? The
Book Thief and The Help.
Book Thief and the Help. Okay.
Yeah, that was a close one. It came down to, I think, just a few votes. It might have been even 1 vote.
Any other surprises?
Yeah, Fault in Our Stars didn't get that many votes, which was kind of surprising. I don't know. Maybe I'm in a bubble with John Green. Like I love all of John Green's books. The big surprises happened. I mean, not really surprises either. But you know how much I love Gone Girl. I feel like I'm always talking about Gone Girl. But Ender's Game is so good too. I can't get really mad about this because Ender's Game is amazing.
Right.
Deserves to win. Yeah, Game of Thrones. I was kind of surprised. Like it's a super long book, and they just get longer as the series goes on. I guess I was just more surprised that more people had read it, and which sounds stupid to say because it's like a cultural phenomenon. But I figured we had a ton of people that had watched the show but hadn't read it.
Right.
They have, or it could have been just people like the Twilight haters just voting against Twilight. 50 Shades losing. I think it got like 2 votes total.
Wow. I've read The Time Traveler's Wife. I haven't read 50 Shades. I'm thinking maybe it's just, better content.
My theory was that because this wasn't an anonymous poll and you had to like your name, everyone,
Oh.
then people would
We
see
didn't want
you
to have
like,
that many people admitting to reading.
yeah, people would see you publicly endorsing 50 Shades of Grey, and
Yeah.
maybe people weren't ready for that.
Now, any predictions for this next round?
I'm just gonna pick Harry Potter to take down the. I love the Book Thief too. Like that is a fantastic book. I'll say Handmaid's Tale over Da Vinci Code. I think Ender's Game over Game of Thrones. And
Really?
I do. Yeah, I really do. Like,
Really?
yeah, I think.
I could be wrong, but I think Game of Thrones is gonna take it.
All right, we'll have to wager on this. What should
Yeah.
we? Well, let's do that off camera. We shouldn't be seen publicly.
Betting.
Gambling is illegal and bad. Don't do it. Talk to me later.
Hey, we could play with toilet paper. Like I'll raise you 2 rolls.
Oh man, you just made it really serious really fast. I was just gonna wager stupid money, but you're talking about
or like chocolate. I mean,
again, very serious for me. We'll figure something out. I'll say Hunger Games over Time Traveler's Wife. Look at I'm so boring. I picked all of the higher seeds again. Next was the recent hotness bracket. These were books that were have come out in the past 9, 10. We were kind of loose with the definition of recent. Some of them are super recent. Before were yours, a 1 seed lost to our 16 seed. Eleanor Oliphant is complete. Kind of a shocker. The Hate You Give, narrowly taking down Ted. Mega popular book Where the Crawdads Sing, beating Girl on the Train. And then we had a man called Uwe, that is how you say it, I believe, taken down.
Really?
Yeah, The Nightingale, being popular Little Fires Everywhere TV show on now. And then All the Light We Cannot See, beating Crazy Rich Asians, another recently popular book. Martian, a little older. Goldfinch, also a little older, but The Martian took that one down. And then Wonder, a 15 seed, beaten up on A Gentleman in Moscow. That poor old gentleman. Shuffle his way out of the tournament. And this is how the bracket looks.
Have you read Before We Were Yours?
I have, yeah.
Were you surprised about that losing?
Yeah, it was kind of like the hot book. Like it was on the bestseller list for weeks and months and maybe even years, if I remember correctly. And everybody wanted to read it. Library holds lists for it were crazy long. You just couldn't get a hold of it. And thought for sure that it was going to win its first round matchup, kind of convincingly, because I wasn't sure if a lot of people had read Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine.
Well, that's fairly new, right?
It is. It's within the last few years, and we did that one for book club too. And that is a really great book. Like I love that book. If I had to pick one over the other, like that would have been my choice, but that would not have been my prediction for how that matchup would have shaken out. I know you're a big college basketball fan, so I don't have to tell you this, but 16 seeds beating 1 seeds doesn't happen. Like
unheard of.
I don't know if it's ever actually happened.
Would you use that Cinderella?
Oh yeah, for sure. So Eleanor Oliphant is now our tournament's Cinderella.
Our Cinderella.
And we'll see how long she can keep.
I'm so excited to use that term.
I know. This one kind of surprised me. Wonder beating A Gentleman in Moscow. And I'll admit I haven't read Wonder. I love Gentleman in Moscow. And maybe that was my own personal bias making it a 2 seed. But yeah, totally didn't expect it to lose to Wonder. Real quick, just predictions for how the matchups will go. I'm gonna say
Eleanor, right?
Eleanor's gonna upset Hate You Give. I'll pick Where the Crawdads Sing just because it's so like new and recently hot.
Mhm. Super hot.
And look at me, that's technically an upset. Oh, I picked an upset in the first one too, and I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna pick the Nightingale to beat All the Light We Cannot See. I'm gonna say that Wonder is gonna beat the Martian.
Yep.
So I picked straight upsets. Do you have any disagreements with those predictions?
No, I think that's probably what I would have chosen also.
All right, then we're in agreement. No wagers to be had this time.
No, no.
All right, we'll skip to our last bracket. It's called Reedy Goodness, Ready Player One, which was just coincidence. It was in the Reedy bracket. And Hitchhiker's Guide, Water for Elephants, beating Curious Incident, and then Tuesdays with Maury, taking down Bridget Jones. We had the Guernsey longest title in the world, beating Shanghai Girls, and Summer Sisters by old Judy Blume, beating The Art of Racing in the Rain. And then our most recent matchup, The Stand, The Stand, beats Coraline, aw. And then Life of Pi, beating the Ya Sisterhood.
Did we have any close calls on this one?
I think Water for Elephants and Curious Incident of Dog in the Nighttime were very close.
Yeah, I saw in the comments somebody said the Curious Incident got wronged.
He's robbed. He got robbed. I tells you.
Yeah.
The Art of Racing in the Rain and Summer Sisters actually tied, which is the only tie we had.
Oh yeah.
And so we ended up using a random number generator, which was the fairest way that we could think to do it. Just pick up.
Like you putting strips of paper in a hat and picking.
No. Yeah, I'm not that old fashioned. But no, I just use a computer. I use this website called random.org, which I use for all of my random number needs. I use random.org.
So many.
Which I have surprisingly a lot of them.
When Summer Sisters is older, I was glad to get a Judy Blume book in there. Just
why didn't we do? We should have just done Super Fudge.
Yeah, that's it. It would have been the winner. I've read both of those books, The Art of Racing in the Rain and Summer Sisters, and I was really glad that Summer Sisters won.
So that would have been your pick?
Yeah.
We'll just put out there that we are both abstaining from voting on these things. We don't.
Yeah, no, I didn't vote on any
results.
Of them.
Yeah.
I just watched the comments a lot and just to see if anybody had, super hot opinions on anything.
Yeah, sometimes people do. Sometimes people get really emphatic.
Yeah. I kind of wanted that.
Yeah, and we like that. If anybody's watching this, yeah, get into it. Yeah, speak up about your favorites. Use all caps and exclamation points. And
yes, definitely.
Take some shots at the other books if you want to. You don't have to do that. This doesn't have to be about tearing other books down, but it can be.
Now, you're a Stephen King fan.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were happy The Stand took over Coraline, but you like Neil Gaiman too, right? Is it Gaiman?
I do. I like both of those books, but The Stand is just The Stand. I was psyched for The Stand. It was hard to not put more Stephen King in this tournament.
So, any predictions for our next round here?
I'll take the upset. I'm going to take Hitchhiker's Guide to beat Ready Player One.
Have you read Tuesdays with Maury?
I have. I'm going to pick it to beat Water for Elephants. I'll pick Guernsey to beat Summer Sisters. And then it's going to be tough for me to be rational and objective in this one. But I'm going to pick The Stand, even though, like, if I'm being honest with myself, I think Life of Pi is going to beat it. But make The Stand my official prediction. What do you think?
I'm gonna say, just because of Hitchhiker's Guide being around longer and reaching more people, and just guessing on our voting demographic, I'm gonna say Hitchhiker's Guide. I think Tuesdays with Maury is probably gonna take it. I hope Summer Sisters maybe has a little bit of an edge. I don't know. We'll see. And The Stand. I'm going to say The Stand just because there's so many passionate Stephen King fans out there.
I hope so. Our recap brackets. So now we invite you to fill out your own bracket. What does that mean? Well, during regular March Madness, part of the fun is filling out the bracket with your predictions of who you think's going to win. And so we want to bring the fun of that over to our little tournament. And so what we have, we'll post it in the video or the description of this video or both, a link to a survey. And basically it's you just fill it out with who you think's going to win. Now don't fill it out with your votes. Don't, pick who you want to win for this particular thing. Pick who you think will win the vote. Who are the people going to pick? Your goal here is to be accurate, not to put your choices out there. So you fill out the form. It's an online form. You just fill it out, click submit, and then we'll hold on to all those and we'll determine who our most accurate predictors were. And I think we might even have some prizes for you if you are one of those people. We got a spot in a cookie class up for grabs and possibly some other prizes, but we'll have more details about the prizes later. But yeah, fill out the bracket. We'll have the link in the comments and the description of the video. You just click it, fill it out, click submit. You don't have to print anything or write anything with a pen. It's all digital. So fill it out, send it back. And yeah, it'll make the tournament a little more spicy for you, I think. You'll have a little bit more invested in it. But again, those aren't your votes. So remember to vote every day. Round 2 of the tournament is going to start tomorrow, which is Sunday, April 12th. We'll kick off things in the Ye Olde Classics bracket with our first set of matchups. So vote like you've been doing. You've all been doing a great job of voting, so keep that up. And vote nightly on Facebook. We'll post a new set of matchups every day, except for today when we took a break to post this stupid video. So you've enjoyed, if anyone's made it this far, which I don't know if anyone's made it to this point, unless you skip to the end. But
maybe they're bored enough to
watch if you're that bored and you want to watch people talk about a book popularity contest, bless you and thank you. So yeah, we're taking a break today, but the tournament will be back tomorrow night. And keep voting. I hope it's been fun for you. We'll check back in with another recap after the end of round 2. Sarah, any closing thoughts?
That's it. It's going to be a nail biter.
A real? Yeah. Is that one of those sports terms that you?
Yes, I'm practicing sports terms. Okay.
You're a regular sports head.
I am.
Well, sports heads, book heads, enjoy the rest of the tournament, and we will see you soon.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.